Welcome back, everybody. As you can see behind me, my food plot, my brassica plot, has been completely destroyed by deer again. For those of you that followed me last year, you know that my brassicas got destroyed by deer. This year it's a little bit different. It was not only the browse pressure, but also just the severe drought that we're in northern Minnesota right now. I tried to fix that this year by putting in a nice electric fence around these brassicas, but that still didn't solve the problem. There's just incredible browse pressure here where I'm at. My wife and we bought this property in 2021. This is only the second year I've food plotted here, but I've never seen browse pressure from deer like this before. There are a lot of deer in this neighborhood and there's no ag around us. So it's the perfect combination of a lot of deer, and they got nothing else to feed on, no soybeans, no corn, stuff like that. So I guess I'm learning the hard way that the brassicas just may not be something that I can do here in the future, but I'm not giving up on my season. I'm not giving up at all. In fact, I'm excited because over here on this side of the food plot, I've got a whole bunch of rye that I planted. And so my plan here today, my strategy for this fall is I'm gonna double down on that side over there, the rye, and I'm gonna load on some more oats and some more rye seed today. It's September 3rd. In northern Minnesota, our average first frost date is September 19th. And so we've been in an incredible drought, you guys. We really haven't gotten any measurable rain since the last day of July where I'm at here. It's really kind of sad because I'm trying to get young trees to grow and a lawn to grow and all that, and it's just maddening because it's all dying. But I'm gonna double down on my winter rye side, and they are calling for rain in a couple days. For the whole month of August, that forecast has just fizzled, but you never know. This time we may actually get rain. If we can get some rain, I might get some more rye and oats to take on my rye side of the food plot. The other thing is I did have a really big buck on camera back here, which is really exciting. So I'm gonna wrap up my talking part of this interview right now, and I'm gonna go run out the seed, and then I'll wrap up after I put my seed out. I'm gonna wrap up with my food plot thoughts and the strategy on this plot behind it, how I'm gonna salvage and save my fall and my food plot. After I run the seed out, I'll follow up with an interview off my food plot. I just got that overseed done, and I moved to the other end of my property. I'm way far away from the food plot now in the bedding areas, so that I don't spook anything, because there are a lot of deer using my food plot right now. That winter rye that I have out there that I planted a few weeks ago, it's really working well, but I see that it needed a little bit more rye and oats in it, just to up that palatability as we head into the deer season here. The bow season opens in about 2 weeks where I'm at from the time I'm filming this video. It's September 3rd today. So just want to go through a couple things with you guys that I did a little bit differently that I think are really important, that you don't see talked about a whole lot on YouTube and online, just winter rye research, stuff like that. You know, if you look at the literature that's out there from universities, like cover crop, winter rye cover crops for farming, even food plot content that's out there on YouTube and things, people tend to plant it fairly light. And I do the opposite here. I plant mine extremely heavy. Now, I suppose there is a point of diminishing return. If you plant it too heavy, it may choke itself out, but I haven't hit that point yet. So couple reasons why I really like having that rye heavy. And the first reason is because I noticed last year when I did my winter rye overseeding on top of my brassicas, the same thing happened last year where the deer destroyed my brassicas
and I ended up having to put winter rye on top of it. I didn't get great germination when I just laid that rye seed out on top of the ground. And again, I'm in sand here. Depending on where you're at, if you have real heavy soils or it can hold moisture better than mine, this might be a totally different story for you. But in sandy soils, real arid soils that don't hold soil moisture, I had poor germination last year. And that winter rye came up really sparse. And I'm gonna be totally honest, the deer were not in love with it. They ate a little bit of it, but it came up so sparse. Maybe it was the fact that the deer had to work so hard for each blade of it that they had to go find. I'm not totally sure. It could have been that there was a better food source in the neighborhood. There are some hay fields nearby that I saw deer out on last year. So a couple of theories out there as to why that is. But this year I planted my winter rye at 300 pounds per acre back here, which is way higher than anything you'll find online or even on YouTube. You know, other guys will tell you not to plant it near that hard or near that heavy rather. And the reason I did that was because, again, that sandy soil effect here where I'm at, poorer germination. And number two, when you have that really lush carpet of rye where it's really thick, I think that deer can get more in each mouthful. And I'm seeing night and day differences. It's way more deer use this year, this summer and fall, than last year. So I'm really sold on the higher seeding rate. And when I went back there now, I saw that there's still bare soil back in there. Even at 300 pounds per acre, there's still bare soil. So that's why today I went and added more rye to it so that I have young, lush stuff coming up as we enter into the bow season here. I did put some oats on there too, just for kicks. I just kind of wanted to try it, see if it'll grow. Again, it's all big seed. Winter rye and oat seeds are large seeds, so laying on top of the ground, that's not ideal to get them to grow. But that's why, again, today I did another 300 pounds per acre, so that even if a fraction of that germinates and takes, that'll help my plot a lot. So I go really heavy, and I like it that way. I've seen a night and day difference in the amount of deer use on the food plot. They're just hammering on that winter rye right now. So that's why I added more today. It's been an extreme drought, and there is room for more rye and oats. And I'm noticing that my brassicas are, again, year number 2, a complete bust, you guys, which is just, it's depressing, honestly. I've worked so hard. I've spent a bunch of money on it. And this year, as you guys know, I put an electric fence around my food plot. I actually bought a 30-mile, like, cattle rancher electric fence. I mean, this is what cattle ranchers use, this fencer that I bought. And I used the 3 strands, 2 down low, one waist to kind of mid-height, and the deer just jumped over it and through it. They were knocking it down, snapping the wires. I tried to repair it all summer, and in the end, the deer won. And so between the drought and the browsing on my brassicas, I'm not gonna have any brassicas going into this season, which is really sad. I'm telling you guys, we're battling a really bad drought in northern Minnesota right now, and I've got other problems associated with that. My lawn is burning out that I tried to establish this year, and I got a bunch of young pine trees that I planted and fruit trees that are also burning out. I just can't water it all. So anyways, I'm gonna save my plot though. They are calling for a little bit of rain, and if we can get even a titch of rain, what they're calling for in a couple days, in 2 days, I think this food plot is gonna be lights out. I've had a really nice buck on it already this year, which is incredible, and a big mainframe 8-pointer, and then a whole bunch of younger bucks, and which is really cool to see them coming up through the ranks, some does, things like that. So I'm excited for the fall. I think the rye and oats that I added today are going to be just what this plot needs. I'm basically abandoning my brassicas at this point, and I'm just focusing on that winter rye half of my plot and doubling down on it with more seed today. And I'm just foregoing the brassica side of the plot and writing that off as a loss. So let me know how your guys' plots are doing. Let me know if you need any last minute saves on your food plots. I'm always curious what other people are running into. And until the next video, you guys take care.